I'm Ann Schockett, President of the NFRW, the National Federation of Republican Women. This is NFRW Fast Forward. Today, it's dedicated to the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment. 100 years ago today, something extraordinary took place in our country. Women won their voice, forever changing the role of women in American political society. We were not given a voice. We fought for it and won it. The exceptional story of the suffragists and the Republican Party that supported them must never be forgotten or taken for granted. It was strong, determined women of all races, colors, and creeds who propelled the fight for women's suffrage. In 1848, the brave suffragists, despite tremendous pressure lodged against them publicly and personally, organized in Seneca Falls, New York, to make history. They discussed, they debated, they passed resolutions declaring that women should be viewed as full citizens with all the same rights and privileges granted to men. But it took 72 more years, arduous years, until the ratification of the 19th Amendment. Long decades of selfless and tireless activism. But our heroic suffragists persisted. Whenever you feel tired and believe you can't go on in any struggle, just think of those women who would not stop and keep fighting. When we talk about the fight for women's suffrage, we think about letter writing campaigns, activist conferences, marches and rallies, stirring speeches. But there are also darker truths about their sacrifices. They endured hunger strikes, physical violence against them, and brutal torture while incarcerated. All for the right to cast a ballot. All for these words: the right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex. Today, many women cherish their right to vote without realizing the struggle that made it possible. Suffragists put their lives on the line for our right. They opened the door for us to define our fates. Women now are active leaders in the political sphere. You and I are the realization of a dream of our grandmothers and great-grandmothers. But we must safeguard our rights. When we lose sight of the past, we can lose the rights of the present. And that is why Elections 2020 is critical. We face a clear-cut choice. We can vote for massive government with ultimate control of our lives, destroying our freedoms and dismantling our country, or we can vote Republican across the board and return President Donald J. Trump to the White House to preserve our Constitution and the rule of law. It's simple. This battle is for the heart and soul of our country. A war is raging. We NFR warriors are fighting for the future of America, the land we love. We have the choice to vote for a radical socialist platform or to keep America, America. It is the Republican Party that stands for our values. It was the Republican Party that helped our brave women in white secure the right to vote. Republicans were the pioneers for the suffrage movement, and independent Republican women's clubs across our country were the trailblazers in the struggle to secure the 19th Amendment. Those clubs came together 82 years ago to form the National Federation of Republican Women. The women who ignited the suffrage movement never knew if they would see the day their work would come to fruition. They held on to hope that one day their daughters and daughters' daughters would reap the benefits we have. Let's make sure we keep them. This has been NFRW Fast Forward. I look forward to speaking with you again next week. Let's get out the vote.